The last thing you have to do in your layout is you have to put a rendering behind this thing, and it's a pretty simple system. You go set view, isometric, southwest. Grab this thing. Shut it off. Okay. Set it to the middle of your view by typing Z enter, S enter. And right here, whenever you're doing a rendering, you always want to save the view, and you save it in named view. So the way to bring up named view is literally you type named view. Since mine is here already, you don't see that, but I'm going to show you. Named view. So this panel comes, put it underneath here, under your layers panel. You can shift it up. So once you have the view that you want, which is southwest isometric, and then we got it to be in the middle of the screen by typing Z enter, S enter for zoom, and then select it. Then you press save. You can set it to rendering or southwest isometric or whatever. But what that does is that if you go around here and like mess up your view, you can double click on your saved view and it'll bring it back. Okay. Cool. So you click on it, then you want to set your render properties. Your render is going to be current. This stuff might be a little bit different for you because you guys are on Rhino 5 and I'm on Rhino 6. As far as I know, the only real difference is that for me in the skylight settings, I can use the studio setting. Oops. I can use the studio setting, but I don't think you guys have that. Regardless, you don't need to turn any of that stuff on. Just make sure that the background is set to transparent. That's the most important thing in your render quality. And then the size, you want to set it to, when you're first rendering, you want like a smaller, size screen because it'll take less time. If you're like cool with the way that it looks and you're not like really test rendering anymore, then you set it to a higher resolution. So for now, I'm going to leave it at 800 by 600 to see how it looks with the standard settings. And then if it's necessary, we'll tweak some stuff. But you press OK. And then to actually render, you can either go in the render tab and just click render, or you can click this blue orb. It's the same thing. So you press that, and that's pretty much your rendering. That looks fine to me. So I'm going to go back to my render settings, my properties, and I'm going to increase it to about, I think 2000 wide should be fine. And I'm not sure if Rhino 5 has this setting, but you could put it to good quality instead of draft quality. And then press OK, press render. And this time it should take a little bit more time because it's doing a higher quality image. Well, it didn't take that long. Now, this is an extremely important thing when you're saving your file for your own rendering. You want to go save. You can click on the save button and put it somewhere where you know where it's going to be because you're going to have to reference it later. For now, I'm going to put mine on the desktop. You do not do that. Put it where it belongs. I'm just doing this on the desktop for the purposes of showing you guys. But it's very important to choose portable networks graphic or a .png because .png is the only file type that when you save the alpha channel allows you to have a transparent background, meaning that there's not going to be a white or black background. It's going to only save pixels that are part of your project, which is exactly what we need. So desktop, portable networks graphic, save it as rendering underlay, and press OK. Now you're done with that. You're going to go into your perspective mode. You're going to set your view to top, and wherever your actual drawing is, your southwest isometric, which should be the same view as your rendering, you're going to type picture frame. For me, it's picture because they changed the name in Rhino 6, but for you guys, it's picture frame. So you're going to type picture frame. You're you're going to source the image, and this is how you bring images into Rhino. And that's it. So in order to make this a little bit easier for everyone, I suggest you guys do this step, and that's to draw a line and then move that line manually to match as close as you can to the edge of your pixels. And then do the same thing on all four sides, because it'll make scaling it and matching this thing a lot easier. So draw 4 lines that extend past the boundary of your image in Rhino. And then you just kind of eyeball it, but zoom in really close so you can get it as best as possible, because from far away people really can't tell the difference. And then copy the last one. And grab all that. Type TR for trim and get rid of all the edges of your image. You won't be able to tell because, like we said, it's transparent. And then delete the image. Delete the curves. And now you have your image cropped. From here, it should be pretty easy. Grab it using the M command, line it up with your corners. Use SS, which is scaled, which is the regular scale command. You type SS and you see scale come up here. Select objects to scale, press enter. The way scale works is you got to click 3 times. Click at the beginning, click to the edge, and then you click to your reference. So you basically click twice to establish the full length of what you're trying to change, and then the third click is your reference. So my third click here, I'm trying to click for it to line up with that edge. So you can use Smart Track once you get the gray dot, and then line it up on the bottom. So there you go. Last thing you need to do is in the properties for the actual image, which is under material, I want you to set the transparency, which is how see-through an object is, to, I think 75 should be good. And then go to your layout and it should be fine. So that was pretty much the last step. Once you're here, I want you to do a file check with your layout, and do not call me over until it's perfect. Your name needs to be right. You need to have a red border on this drawing. I don't want to see any double lines. You should have learned how to union and right click on this to join your model. If your model isn't solid, you're gonna have to do it all over. Your numbers have to be updated. You need a section marker going in 2 different directions. Your marker has to match the drawing. If you did it wrong, switch them around. These need to be pocheted, hatched on the light gray layer, and have a border. Everything has to be right. Do not call me to check your file until at least you visually see that it's as perfect as this. Do not waste my time.